This is Components of a Screenplay, Part 2. Now, I'm going to put a link up to Part 1, just in case you didn't get a look at it. And so, what I'm going to do in this video is put all of those components together and show you how they work and interlink with each other. I'll start by saying that every screenplay has an Act 1, an Act 2, and an Act 3. Or as I like to look at them, issue, action, consequence. So the story as a whole has a beginning, middle, and end, but each act also has a beginning, middle, and end, and all of the scenes in that act also have a beginning, middle, and end. But what those things need to do are different depending on which level of the screenplay you're operating on, whether it be the thematic level, the structural level, or the scenic level. Now, we'll start at the thematic level and work our way in with the questions that need to be answered. In Act 1, or the issue, what aspect of the hero is undeveloped or problematic? Act 2, the action. What do they need to do to resolve their issue? And Act 3, the consequence. How does it improve their life? It's pretty simple stuff. Now we go to the structural level. And we'll go act by act here. So, in Act 1, the issue is, how does that issue or problem manifest in the protagonist's life? The action being, what's stopping them from changing? And the consequence of that is that the hero will reach a point at which that problem can no longer be ignored. Now in Act 2, the issue is what aspects of the hero need to change. What about them is not working anymore. The action, what they need to do to be changed. What's the process by which they are going to learn the lessons they need to learn? The consequence of that is that they change, that those changes are then implemented. Now, in Act 3, the issue is, do those changes work in their day-to-day lives? Does it fix the problem? The action is showing us how it affects the protagonist's life. The consequence of that being, the hero lives their life free of the issue one way or the other. The scenic level is where things start to get a little trickier, because that's where the plot and narrative intertwine. Now, each scene should have some element of both, where the narrative and the plot are affecting the decisions being taken by the protagonist. Usually the clash between the narrative and plot creates friction between the protagonist and the other characters, or between the protagonist's own wants and needs and desires. And that's what creates the drama in your script. Creating those conflicts within characters or between characters. Now, if you manufacture your characters so that they deliberately have cross purposes, that will really, really help. Now, what's so important for a screenplay is for it to have momentum and intrigue throughout the script. There needs to be something to get you to keep reading. Now, this is where the hero often will need to sacrifice something that means something to them, and the stakes need to be raised. So what do I mean by that? So at the end of the first act, and by the end of the second act, the hero might need to be prepared to sacrifice something, to lose something, to put something at risk. That creates this sense of intrigue that will make us want to keep reading. The same with the stakes. We need to see the hero move through a succession of ever-increasing obstacles that seem more and more difficult. This, again, gives that sense of momentum, that sense of intrigue, that sense of how are they going to get past that? How are they going to deal with that? And that's what keeps us interested in what's going on in the story. So these are not the only things required to write a great screenplay, but they are key to making sure the structure of your screenplay is sound and allows you to play with all the other things. Those other elements might be creating compelling characters, realistic dialogue, being true to genre tropes, reinventing genre tropes, all these different things. And I'm going to be talking about do's and don'ts of some of these other things in the weeks ahead. I hope you enjoyed this video. Much love. Peace.